A couple of months ago, I've went over some of the most morally corrupted characters in Elden Ring and the Dark Souls universe, but what I wanted to do is find out of all the characters in the Souls universe, which one is truly the most evil. So yeah, I'm gonna go over the most morally corrupted figures from each Souls game and rank them based off their evilness, I guess. And without wasting any more of your time, let's talk about the first character. Owl, to put it simply, is a manipulative dickhead. He adopted Wolf at a young age and trained him to be a shinobi. At first he seems like a great mentor, but his true nature reveals that he's a selfish, backstabbing, power-hungry prick. He only cares about his own power and has no loyalty to anyone, not even his own son. His actions show that he only values ambition and power. The funniest part about this is that Owl is the same guy that keeps yapping about being loyal and following the Iron Code at all costs. So yeah, he's very hypocritical. His backstabbing ways are easily what makes him evil in my opinion. He raises and trains Wolf from childhood, building a relationship based on obedience and discipline. But in reality, Owl only saw Wolf as a tool to achieve his own goals. This becomes more clear when he demands that Wolf breaks his oath and betray the divine heir. He purposely done this not only because Wolf is a valuable asset to him, but also knowing that it would hurt him. Again, this moment proves that Owl never truly cared for Wolf, only using him to gain more power. Owl's ambition is what drives him. He wants the power of the divine heir's dragon's heritage, not for any noble reason, but so he can control others and secure his own dominance. He's willing to kill allies, deceive his own son, and go against certain traditions just to get what he wants. He believes that strength and ambition justify any action, making him a villain who represents betrayal and selfishness. His actions make him one of the most corrupt and dangerous people in the world of Sekiro and also the Souls universe in general. But as bad as he is, as you can see, there are still more morally corrupt characters that's yet to be mentioned. During the Age of the Ancients, Seath decided to do the unthinkable and betrayed his own kind by teaming up with Gwyn. He helped Gwyn in almost eradicating all of the dragons, and because of this, Gwyn granted Seath his own dukedom. Here, he can carry out experiments and do other weird scientist shit. Now, I forgot to mention the reason why Seath decided to betray his kind. It was because of his lack of stone skin. You see, all the other ancient dragons look like straight up chads with their statue-like physiques, and here you have Seath who looked like an underdeveloped dragon fetus. But the real reason why Seath is obsessed with the stone skin is because it's the main reason why the dragons were immortal. And for many years to come, Seath would try his best to replicate this form of immortality. You see, he managed to create or find a crystal that would grant him his immortality, but unfortunately, for some damn reason, I don't know, he has it sitting out there in the open in his boss arena. But let's get to the real reasons why I put Seath here. You see, during his research to gain immortality, he went batshit insane and started doing horrible ass experiments. One of these experiments included him turning maidens into whatever the hell these things are. It is also believed that he created Priscilla and Yorshka, as they are both part dragon, part humanoid, which is the only good thing he's ever done. And yeah, let's not forget, he literally helped with almost eradicating his entire race just because he was jealous of them. So to put it simply, the reason why I place him on the list is because 1, he literally betrayed his entire race due to, again, jealousy, and 2, he did horrible experiments on people. So yeah, this man, or thing, dragon, whatever, is evil. I don't care. He's evil. Or very morally corrupt. Micolash is one of the more notably evil guys in the Souls series. He represents the madness and cruelty of those who chase forbidden knowledge no matter the cost. Micolash and the scholars of the School of Mensis performed horrible rituals to make contact with the Great Ones, leading to the creation of the Nightmare of Mensis. These rituals involve kidnapping and sacrificing innocent people, using their suffering as a way to achieve their twisted goals. Micolash shows no care for the pain he causes, proving that he has lost all sense of morality. You can also tell he went batshit insane, as when we encountered him, he keeps moaning, going on and on about eyes and cause and whatnot. So yeah, in terms of morality, this man is definitely far from good. And what separates him from the other people, especially in Bloodborne, is his end goals. Characters like Lawrence, for example, would do questionable things in hopes for the greater good. It doesn't make him a hero, nor does it wipe away his sins, but at least he had a somewhat noble end goal. But Micolash was just doing shit for the love of the game. Sure, it was all about ascension, but he's still a very twisted individual at the end of the day. Nashandra was born a fragment of Manos. This fragment represented his want. This made Nashandra have greed for everything but mostly power. She would travel to the land of Drang Lake and meet a man named King Vendrick. He allowed her to join his kingdom, and she warned him about the looming threat of the giants across the seas. Because of this, Vendrick decided to invade their lands and took a valuable item from them. This would later cause the giants to retaliate and they would invade Drang Lake, but they were defeated. After this, Vendrick's brother Aldia did experiments on the giants, turning them into golems and also imprisoned the giant lord. Later on, Nashandra would become Vendrick's queen and everything was going smooth sailing from here. Except one day, Vendrick took a look into Nashandra's soul only to find nothing, as she's a child of the dark after all. This scared Vendrick, as now he knows that she doesn't truly love or care for him, but just wants to use him for power and control. Knowing this, Vendrick called upon one of his closest knights and had him follow him to the crypts in a faraway place. You see, Vendrick did this because he knew what Nashandra wanted was to be on the Throne of Want, which would grant her a lot of powers and true rulership. However, to enter the throne room, she would need the king's ring, which only Vendrick had access to, so that's why he locked himself away in the crypt for many years, and he had Velstad, his royal knight, guarded. Knowing this, Nashandra knew she needed help, so what she did was manipulate countless undead warriors, us included, to retrieve access to the Throne of Want. She promised us that we would become ruler. However, after we defeat the throne defenders, she would reveal her true nature, not only in intentions but looks as well. King Allant is one of the most tragic yet undeniable evil rulers in the Soul series. He was once a respected and powerful king, but his thirst for power led him down a dark path that doomed his entire kingdom. Unlike some villains who have noble intentions but go too far, this man fully embraced destruction and showed no remorse whatsoever. At first, King Allant was just like any other Soulsborne ruler, but everything changed when he discovered the soul arts. Using this forbidden knowledge, he became stronger, but at a terrible cost. The soul arts awakened the Old One, an ancient demon that spread a deadly fog across the land. Instead of fighting against it, Allant willingly let the demon consume Boletaria, believing that life itself was meaningless. So yeah, this man basically said, shit, life is meaningless, might as well let everyone die. Like, come on, that's so nihilistic. What makes Allant truly evil is not just that he doomed his entire kingdom, is that he did so on purpose. He wasn't manipulated, nor did he believe he was doing the right thing. He fully understood that the Old One would destroy everything, and he still encouraged it. He saw human life as pointless and wanted to end it all. Instead of protecting his people, he fed them to the demons, turning them into monsters or leaving them to die in the fog. His knights, his subjects, and even his closest allies were all abandoned or sacrificed. And by the time we meet him, he was no longer the quote-unquote great king we once knew. He was transformed into this grotesque slug-like creature, and I guess that's basically the game saying that despite him looking like this, before, this is what he was truly like on the inside. And yet, even in this form, he's still a nihilistic piece of shit, because his final words suggest he still believes that life itself is suffering and that his actions were justified. In the end, King Allant is evil not because he was corrupted, but because he chose destruction over power. He gave up on his people and turned against humanity. That makes him one of the darkest villains in the Soul series, in my opinion. Now at second place as the most messed up, morally corrupted person, we have Queen Marika herself. Queen Marika started out as a shaman in the lands of Shadow. The shamans, however, were killed by the Hornsent and turned into jars, which, to be fair, was pretty messed up. She planned to ascend to godhood, but by doing this, she had her son Mesmer the Impaler commit mass genocide against the Hornsent, which, to be fair, is understandable, but still a bit messed up at the end of the day. I'm gonna go quickly over all the stuff she did after this atrocity. After ordering Mesmer to lead the crusade, she abandoned him in the land of Shadow. Fast forward some time later, she sent away her newborn twins into the sewers to live just because they were omens, and it didn't go well with the Golden Order. She then exiled the father of those said twins outside the lands between with his tarnished army, just because he lost his grace. She waged war with other factions such as the Giants and the Carrion family for no reason other than control and power. And she's literally responsible for shattering the Elden Ring, which caused chaos in the lands between. What chaos, you might ask? Well, because of this, her demigod kids went to war with each other, further damaging the land. Overall, I think it's clear that she's the most morally corrupted person in the entire game. Maybe Meteor could take this spot, but I don't know too much about her, no matter how hard I try to understand it, so I just left her out. But yeah, Marika is kinda evil, but I'ma let it slide because 1, she's a baddie, and 2, she's a boss bitch, so yeah. No, but in all seriousness though, she's messed up. Now, for the most evil, corrupt character in the Soulsborne universe, we have Pontiff Sulyvahn. At a young age, Sulyvahn arrived in Irithyll, a city inhabited by the descendants of the old gods. Despite lacking divine blood, he earned favor with Dark Sun Gwyndolin. During his time here, Sulyvahn discovered the profane flame in the underground ruins of the profane capital, an everlasting flame that could be preserved. This discovery fueled his ambition as he saw the flame as a source of immense political and religious power in a world centered on the fading first flame. Sulyvahn used the profane flame to manipulate and corrupt Irithyll's holy knights, turning them into his personal army. These knights, once servants of the gods, became fire witches wielding the profane flame and sorcery, while the soldiers under their command used frost magic. When Gwyndolin fell ill, Sulyvahn declared himself pontiff, seizing control of Irithyll and imprisoning Gwyndolin in the old cathedral, while his sister Yorshka was locked in her church tower. Having consolidated powers, Sulyvahn purged Irithyll of enemies, exiling or killing the Blades of the Dark Moon, enslaving the city's giants and turning survivors of the profane capital into jailers. He built an immense dungeon and erected a magical barrier around Irithyll to control who entered and left. Now in absolute control, Sulyvahn conducted horrific experiments. Humans were reduced to slaves, also the giants as well. Monstrous beasts roamed the streets and in his dungeons. So let's see. He manipulated and corrupted knights, seized power through deception, imprisoned Gwyndolin, imprisoned Yorshka, exiled or killed the Blades of the Dark Moon, enslaved giants, built a dungeon for political control, conducted horrific experiments, enslaved humans, created monstrous beasts who were results of those experiments, turned a former royal daughter into his personal dancer and a beast, most likely against her will, imposed strict control over Irithyll. This man is literally the most evil Dark Souls character ever. I was contemplating putting Aldrich over him, but then I found out that his ass helped Aldrich as well, so he's literally just evil without any sympathetic backstory or anything. Nah, he was just like, hey, I want to rule this place and I want to do it with an iron fist and make everyone's existence as miserable as possible. Yeah, he's just straight up evil. I don't think there's even anyone that can debate it. I don't care if he had some weird, sad backstory or whatever. He's straight up evil. That's it. So that was it for the most morally corrupted characters. Now I do want to mention that all of this is just based off of my personal lore interpretation. Some people may find some things different, and if I got some things wrong, just please let me know in the comments below. And one more thing, the term evil might not be the right word to describe some of these characters, hence why I kept using the word, morally corrupt as a way to describe them. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good one, and thank you for watching.